What's up guys, Speaker again. I'm back with another Cypher camera video, and today we have cameras for all bomb sites, all maps in patch 1.10. We've seen the cameras for Icebox. Some of the spots were patched, unfortunately, but we've found new ones and I hope that you guys will like them. So we've got Ascent cameras, we've got Bind cameras, we've got Heaven, Split and Icebox. If you want to see what it looks like when I use these live, head over to twitch.tv/GhostToPeak. Don't forget to leave a follow there so that you know when I go live, but also leave a sub here on YouTube and leave a comment to let me know what you think, and also if you want more content so that you get that notification. I will be heading right into the cams. Hope you guys enjoy these. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Icebox E-Sight. I've changed the camera that I typically use here. I instead use this one. Easy to set up, very quick, consistent, the same angles. Here's another one. You place it right in front of you here. Also make sure you jump for extra height. This is a camera where enemies have to walk in order to see it. And this is a very passive camera, but still good. Here's another one, easy to set up. We skip the generator jump and instead go here. This way you don't have to risk the generator jump if in case you miss it. Then for defense spawn, this one is the go-to camera. And the reason for that is because you can see straight into mid. If you want a bit better vision, you can go for this one. Here's where you place it. Make sure that you run and jump, that way you can reach. Next up is Snowpile. Riot added glass here, so instead of putting it up there from inside, you have to go outside. Still very good vision. Another one, right there. Now you don't have to go outside anymore, you just place it like that. Very quick, very consistent. One that you can place a bit further up is this one, and that one allows you to see straight into spawn. Next up is B-Site. This tower here, it was patched out, so now you can't put your cameras like I did in the past video, but instead you can put it on the railing here in case enemies as they come in. I like to sit behind this corner, and that allows me to peek around the corner just whenever enemies come in and then shoot them. Another one that I like to place is this one. You place it above the garage here. As enemies come in, you can peek around the corner, but you can also see if enemies are coming to spawn. Next up is the B yellow. You go up here and place the camera on the green container. And it's called B yellow because of the yellow container on the ground there. You can see enemies as they come in, and now you can decide if you wanna aggress or not. One defensive camera, this one, allows you to see if enemies are coming in and if they're hiding behind. Another one for early information on long. That one. Very nice. Then we have a very passive camera, but with great information. This one. And you will instantly know when enemies coming in from either side. Next up is attacker cameras, starting with mid. Get up on the boxes here, take out your camera, jump, and place your camera right there. Now you can see mid, you can see kitchen, as well as B long. Very nice. Then we have E-Site. This one here. You can see the left side of sight. Then we have one on the left side here, which sees the right side. And another one that sees very far into sight, like this. Make sure that you don't show yourself too much, because enemies can otherwise shoot you straight from sight. Next up is Ascent, starting with E-Sight. This camera goes here. A very simple camera, easy to set up, consistent like I like it. And you can see all choke points that are important to sight. Next up is above B garden. Goes like this. Very nice. Let's not forget the camera that you can set up in order to see enemies garden and main. But keep in mind, this one is very difficult to set up in the beginning. However, you can practice in a custom game and hit it. It's a tiny spot, but you can do it. Next up, A lobby. Get up here, up on the boxes. Make sure you clear this angle, otherwise you might die. And then look straight down, aim on the dot, then turn around and make sure that you use the same lineup I do, otherwise it won't work. Like that. and now you see sight. Extremely nice. Next up is mid. Get up here on the table, up on this thingy, and then out on the wall, and jump and place it on the blue wall. A tiny bit of parkour. It's gonna be difficult in the beginning, but it's not too hard. Very good vision. Next up, this one you can do for defenders or even post plant. This is if you want a really heavy control in mid and you are ready to sacrifice the camera. Then from attacker side, typical one, always use this one. You can see garden and mid. Then we have a B main, jump and place it here. You want to see market as well as the entry here. And you can also do this one in the window, where you jump up and place it through the window, and now you can see sight. If you are a defender and you want to see into spawn, set up the camera like this. Keep in mind, enemies will shoot it down quick, but getting the vision can be worth it sometimes. And you can also do this one if you want a more passive camera, but still early information. Then a typical one that I use for B site, this one. You see sight, everything, enemies need to walk in order to shoot it. And then an alternative is this camera here on the side of the wall. You see enemies as they walk in, same information, tiny bit less on market, but it's fine. And a retake camera, jump and place it like that, and now you can see deep into B site. Then we have for defender spawn, up on the barrels, and now you can place it really far up in mid, and you have this vision. And if you're attacking, or even defending, you can place the camera here in order to see all of defender spawn. You can see all choke points connected to it. Extremely nice. Let's do some bind. A site. Starting with this camera, it's a very standard camera where you can see all choke points. You can see enemies coming in. You can use it post plant too. And if you don't want that one, this one on the smoke is very hidden and still really good. You can see enemies coming in and where they plant. Then we have this one. Roughly the same type of vision, but a bit more passive and needs enemies to walk in order to shoot it out. It's a very good camera when you're alone. This is a good post plant camera. You just place it there, very easy to set up. And then we have one here that's very good for post plant, like this. You can see the enemies diffusing on the truck. If you have enemies coming for lamps, or you want to hold lamps, place the camera here. You can see enemies right outside of lamps, and as they walk in. Then we have A short. You place the camera there, and you can see enemies coming A short. And if you want to do it from the attacker side, it looks like this. And you can also see into A heaven. And then we have another one here from the other side. It's a bit limited, but you can use it like this, and if you quickly swing around, you can see enemies on the minimap as well, even if they shoot it out quickly. Here's for ABAF. You can see enemies pushing in early. And then if you're pushing ABAF, unlike that camera, you can see enemies coming in from the doorway or anyone holding there. And then if you already have control, you walk in, place the camera on the truck, and now you can scout all of A site super easy. Here's B short. I usually use this camera in order to push hookah, quickly tag someone, very easy to tag. And then if I already got that control, I'll place the camera here on the lamp, and now I can see all around the hookah, super easy. If I'm attacking B long, I'll set up the camera like that, and I can easily tag someone. If I'm holding B, especially with 3 people on B, I can set up this camera, and it allows me to do a play where I scout for my teammates, they swing around the corner and they shoot enemies. Then another one for defenders to scout B long with is this one. You usually set it up, take info, and then take it back so that enemies don't destroy your camera. Then for B site, I usually go this one or another one on the left side of the wall, like this. And these cameras, they allow me to see the choke points as the enemies are entering. And that's usually all the information you need. Here's an extremely good post plant camera. You jump on the box and place it there, and now you can see exactly where you plant. as well as defender spawn. We can see rotations. Then we have one that you have to be a bit careful for. This one is for defenders, but you place it here, and now you can see enemies coming in from hookah and long. This one is a bit more hidden, but also difficult to spot. Then for B window, I usually go for this one here, in the roof. You just stand in the window, and then aim carefully, and now you hit it. And then if I'm in window, and I want to play aggressively, I play for this camera here. If you place it a bit further down, it's more hidden. Let's do some Haven. For Haven A site, we're starting with the camera to retake with that we always use. This one. It's a very strong camera, and enemies, they typically position in order to be seen by that camera. Then we have this one here in Heaven. This one is for defenders, you know, when you're setting up the site. Like this. Here's a very good camera for when you're expecting enemies to rush in and you think that you might have to leave the site and then retake. You just let the camera be there and then activate it when it's time. Next up, this camera here. Very good vision over A short, but also for long. Then we have A long cameras. If you place the camera like this, you will have a small gap where you can see enemies crossing, and you have to look on your minimap because you can't really see enemies if you're just staring at the gap. If you want to see very clearly when enemies are pushing, go for this one. I highly recommend the other one though. An attacker camera is this one. You're protected, but also can scout. Then for A short, like this. Very easy to see enemies coming in. And then for mid, we place a camera there on the box. This one is for defenders, and now you can see if enemies are crossing to go garage or if they're coming for B. And if you're an attacker, you go with the camera over the box, and now you can look at B, garage, as well as the window. 3 chokes in one. If you have the ability to set up this camera, you will be able to see enemies coming in garage or mid very easily. Then for B site, I typically go for this camera here. You can just see enemies when they come in, and it's a really good retake camera. For C site, I go up here, jump there, and now you jump and place the camera like that, and it's a very defensive camera that you can retake with. For this camera here, you place the camera like that, and now you can see a tiny bit into C long in garage. If you want more vision on C long, jump and place it like that, but keep in mind, enemies will be able to see it on the minimap. Last but not least, this camera in the back here sees enemies very early, and it's aggressive camera information. Let's head over to split, starting with E site. This camera here is a retake camera. You set up the camera like that, and now you can see sight as well as elbow. And if you're in A tower, you can set up this camera, and now you can see all entries and exits for A tower. If you want to hold for ramp, I would recommend this camera here, because this one will allow you to see enemies as they're coming up, and they have to turn around in order to shoot it. Then we have another camera that will hide on the tower here for A. You can see entry to A, as well as a tiny bit into rafters. And squeeze. Next up is this camera here. This one is very good to see enemies very early on. It allows you to see enemies who are peeking or about to enter A site. Then for A lobby, I set up this camera here, turn it to the left, and now I can see enemies pushing up early. And it can allow me to do a duel or report to my teammates by pushing in. Then for ramp and heaven, I go for this block on the side. Then for mid, I set up this camera here on the tree, and it allows me to see enemies in vents as well as mailroom. You can also do it from the other side, like this, and yeah, gives you options. Let's say that you're holding mid. Another camera that you can set up is this one. And with this you can see if enemies are pushing up mailroom. For B tower, I go up on this box and then set up the camera like that, and now you can see enemies pushing in, and they have to look straight up and have an awkward angle in order to shoot down. Then we have a camera that can see straight into spawn, but remember you have to wait until the barriers are down. Like this. And now, turn and you can see if enemies are pushing, or if they're rotating. Then we have this camera here. This one is a bit more hidden because of the redness and the background blending in with the camera. So now you can see enemies in choke and heaven. You can also go for a more standard one up here. Remember that it's a bit popular, so enemies can be quick on shooting it out, but it's still really good. Then we have a new one that goes here, and now you can see enemies as they exit. A much more passive camera. And for garage, I go for this camera here. If I want to have just general information, not really act upon it. But if I have a teammate with me who wants to peek, I go for this camera here. And then as an attacker, you place the camera down here, and now you can see around the corner, anyone on site, as well as anyone heaven there. And that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the cameras, and hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.